Give mom a break in the kitchen this Mother's Day. Dinner Reinvented's Roni Proder is showing you how to make a restaurant-worthy brunch for mom at home.
If you're like me, you have been cooking every single meal in the kitchen and, of course, cleaning up the mess afterwards. And so for this Mother's Day, we have a special treat, right? What was the one thing I asked for Mother's Day?
You asked to keep the kitchen clean because you are constantly cleaning up after our messes.
All the time, which is cool. We've really been enjoying cooking a lot together, but we wanted to show you some awesome and very easy make-ahead meals that even the kids could do, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's get cooking. All right, so for this recipe, you can use a frozen pie crust, or if you're feeling adventurous, you can make your own quiche crust from scratch. But the truth is if that stresses you out, just leave it out altogether. Right now, the last thing you need is stress. So the only difference between a quiche and a frittata anyway is the crust. So without it, you still have a really delicious eggy frittata breakfast. Trim your leeks by cutting off the dark green ends and only use the tender white and light green parts. After you slice them, place it in a big bowl of cold water so that all of the dirt that's in between the pieces will settle down at the bottom. You can see it in the bowl when you take the leeks out. All right, saute it in about a tablespoon of butter until it's wilted and translucent. By the way, for any quiche, you want to make sure that you cook your ingredients first so that it doesn't make the quiche watery. The rest is simple. Crack the eggs, add the milk and cream, spinach, leeks, the cheese.
It looks cheesy.
Place in the springform baking dish and then top with the crumbled goat cheese. Bake it for 45 minutes at 375 degrees, but make sure that you cool it before you slice it. Personally, I really love a savory breakfast, so I love this quiche. I'll serve it with a side salad, some rosemary roasted potatoes, and I'm really happy. But if you've got a sweet tooth and you love French toast, do not flip French toast all morning over a hot stove. Instead, try this make-ahead baked version. I used a loaf of raisin challah bread for this recipe. I cube it in about 1-inch pieces and then I place it on a baking dish and let it just dry out overnight a little bit. But if you don't have time for that, just bake it at 200 degrees for 15 minutes before you start with the rest of the recipe. Okay, now in a mixing bowl, combine the eggs, milk, cream, vanilla.
This smells so good smelling.
Brown sugar, and half of the cinnamon. Grate some fresh nutmeg. This is so fun for kids to do with you. But you can skip this step if you don't have whole nutmeg on hand. Toss in the bread and soak for a couple of hours or overnight. Pour the mixture into a butter-lined baking dish. Evenly pour over the melted butter and then sprinkle with the remaining cinnamon that you tossed in with some sugar. And what Mother's Day brunch is complete without a cocktail, of course. I call this one the Madre. My favorite cocktail is the Negroni, so this one is kind of a Tex-Mex version of that. It's really simple to make and it's super refreshing. I start with excellent tequila. Volcan is my favorite brand. I do equal parts of tequila, then Campari, sweet vermouth. I asked my little sous chef to help by juicing some fresh orange juice. And I stir that all together. Then I top it with Topo Chico. Thanks for joining us in the kitchen. I hope that you enjoyed these recipes. I think right now the most important thing is just to spend time together with family. For us, it's in the kitchen, cooking, laughing, and celebrating what we do have, the simple things in life. So I'm Roni Proder with Dinner Reinvented. You can find these recipes online, or I hope that you check me out on Instagram, and I hope that you have a wonderful Mother's Day.